According to the National Fire Protection Association, structural fires are reported every 66 seconds. In 2009, 1.35 million fires were reported in the United States, which resulted in approximately 3,000 deaths and more than 17,000 injuries. Approximately $12.5 billion worth of damage, according to this association.
This morning, we'd just like to refresh you on what a properly functioning damper is supposed to do. Now, these are life safety dampers. These are specifically fire dampers. In some cases, we'll be talking about smoke dampers, but the intent of it is to control the migration of fire and the byproducts of fire through the duct system of the HVAC system. Fire-rated walls in particular are intended to provide compartmentation from one room to another room. Sometimes they're intended to protect the structural elements of a building. But in any case, where it's particularly compartmentation is the function of a fire-rated wall, if smoke or the byproducts of fire, if toxic gases, hot gases pass through the HVAC system into the next compartment, then the people that are remote from the fire now are in danger. And the intent of the fire damper and the smoke damper, combination fire smoke damper, is to close that opening within the duct itself, and also the retaining angles around the duct are intended to close off any openings that would allow fire smoke to. I'm going to turn the program now over briefly for the next few slides to Tim Bergos. He is a mechanical engineer who works with my company. We're very happy to have him. He worked as a mechanical contractor, as a designer in California. Moved to Florida recently. We're very happy to have him join our group. But he's very familiar with this type of equipment, and he's going to now walk you through the next few slides. Tim.
Hello, everyone. We kind of already briefly talked about a damper, but I'm just going to go into a little more detail about what a damper does and the function of a damper. A damper pretty much helps resist the spread of flame and smoke throughout the HVAC system, and also helps to maintain the hourly rating of a fire assembly. As you see in this picture, it kind of shows you what a damper will do. There's a fire on one side of this wall, and that's a fire-rated wall, and then the damper is located inside this HVAC duct. So instead of the flame and smoke spreading through the HVAC system, it's blocked by the damper, so people on the other side of that wall won't be affected by the fire. There's two different types of dampers besides smoke and fire. I'm talking about the operation of a damper. One type, as you see, is a fusible link operated damper. What a fusible link is you see on the picture, there's a link that holds up the damper itself, which in this case is, for the fire damper, is a current damper. And at a specific temperature, that link will melt, causing the damper to close. And most fire dampers, ceiling dampers, and some combination fire smoke dampers are operated using this system. And on the other side, you can see a ceiling radiation damper. Works the same way. On the top part of the dome is an actual fusible link. So when that melts, when there's a fire inside a room, and the fusible link will melt, causing the damper to open and close off the spread of flame through the HVAC system. The other type of damper is a motor or actuator operated damper. You'll see these are used for smoke dampers, most combination fire smoke dampers, and also some fire-rated dampers, fire dampers. How these work are there's a motor that will either open or close depending on the situation. For a smoke damper, there's a smoke detector that feeds a signal to this to the smoke damper, and when it detects smoke, it will command the actuator to close the damper, sealing off the smoke from going through the HVAC system. A combination fire smoke damper also works in the same way. When the fire and or smoke is detected, a signal will be sent to the actuator to close the damper, also sealing off the rest of the building from the fire and smoke that is being spread through the HVAC system. It should be noted that the proper documentation of these operating systems should be taken. It should be written down just for you, so you'll have future knowledge of all the life safety systems. This is important for future inspections of the life safety system, mainly dampers. So you'll have all the location of all the dampers, so you can actually properly inspect them during the periodic maintenance and inspection schedules that will be explained later on in the presentation. Also, after 1 year after the initial commissioning process, a total inspection of the system. NFPA 90A. This is the standard for the installation of air conditioning and ventilation systems. It's kind of the design standard for installing the HVAC system and the components that go with that. In that standard, it says each damper should be examined every 2 years. That's kind of just a visual to make sure there's nothing blocking it. But then the actual maintenance on a fusible link damper should be done every 4 years. That is, take the link off, make sure that the damper properly closes, and then reset the damper so it will work during a fire. NFPA 92A is the standard for smoke control systems utilizing barriers and pressure differences. It's more of a standard for the smoke system, and just like 90A, you need to visually inspect the dampers every 2 years, and then also make sure that the fusible link operated dampers are inspected and maintained and operated every 4 years, just like 90A. It also tells you that if you have a dedicated system, you need to test that semi-annually, but if you have a non-dedicated system, you need to test that annually. NFPA 80 is a standard for fire doors and other opening protectors. This is more of a maintenance standard than a design standard, but it says that after you install a fire damper, you should make sure that it's tested and inspected 1 year after installation. It also says that, just like 90 and 92, that you should test it. Unless you're in a hospital, then you only have to inspect it every 6 years. And it also mentions that all inspections should be properly documented. NFPA 105 is a standard for installation of smoke door assemblies and other opening protectors. Just like 80, you should inspect and do a test a year after you install the system. And then the testing and inspection frequency is the same as NFPA